what is their legacy now? Yesterday, the Patriots were docked 2 draft picks, a 2016 first-round pick and a 2017 fourth-round pick. This is the second instance that the Patriots organization has been docked a first-round pick. The other instance occurred back in 2008 in response to the Spygate. Now, in terms of the Deflategate, no wrongdoing was found on the part of Coach Bill Belichick or his coaching staff. But the NFL imposed penalties on the team itself, saying, quote, "It remains a fundamental principle that the club is responsible for the actions of club employees." So joining us back here at the desk is NFL analyst Ryan Clark. We talked about what is Tom Brady's legacy now. So now the question that we ask, how do you feel about Bill Belichick's legacy?
Good question.
That is a good question.
It's the same as it's always been. Bill Belichick is a push the boundaries, push the rules, do whatever it takes to win. And I think this whole thing goes to the culture of the New England Patriots. Skip said it yesterday. We were talking about not even the equipment manager, the head equipment manager, knowing that this was taking place. Here's the reason why he didn't know. If you're in a company and you're in a business and they conduct themselves a certain way, like let's take Chick-fil-A for instance. I know you're an in shape guy. Body's your temple.
He's never
You don't eat Chick-fil-A. Stephen A. may eat there every once in a while. When you go to Chick-fil-A,
once a week.
Once a week?
Now tell me this, Stephen A.
You're admitting that on national TV?
Hey, listen, Chick-fil-A nuggets, okay, with honey mustard. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing.
The fries are good.
It's soaked in vegetable oil.
So that's why they that's what makes it healthy. That's what makes it healthy. But like you think about it.
Once a week.
Every time you go to Chick-fil-A, it is the best fast food service in the world. They always say it has been a pleasure to serve you. The reason being, they set that type of culture to work there. You know, in order to work there, you're held to a certain standard. When you're in a culture that cheating is no problem, you can do those things. If you're an equipment manager and you know, hey guys, if these balls are found to not be in specification, we're in trouble, because in our organization we don't cheat. We don't push the boundaries. We make sure that all the rules are abided by in this organization, in this building. We need to make sure these balls are right. That's not what they do. They know they can push everything as far as you want to push it in order to win games. So as long as nobody's telling us about these balls, we're going to make sure Tom's happy. We're going to make sure these balls are right where Tom wants them, because that's the way we win football games. Because it's the culture that Bill Belichick has set.
How can you respect that?
I never said I respected it. I don't respect it, but I get it. I understand it, and I know you just have to beat them on the field. It's not a situation of being like, you know what? I really look at everything the Patriots did, and they earned it all. I don't say that, but you can't take it away.
So you don't think Tom Brady's legacy is tainted, but with the Patriots, you're okay
the Patriots organization,
that
you know they cheat.
Wow.
Like, you just know it. And that was the same point about me saying, no, I don't feel like Brady's legacy took a hit because of this, because it is something amongst players we've always felt. It's a culture of cheating, and that's why an equipment manager can say, you know what, I don't really care if these balls are about the specifications. They're going to be cool as long as we win.
Let's go to Stephen A. Smith. What is that look on your face for, Stephen A.?
You know, first take, you know, we really, you got to just say what it is, guys. And you got to take into account the culture. You have to take into account context. And what I mean by that, Skip Bayless, Ryan Clark, let's just hypothetically talk about the NCAA for a quick second from the perspective of players being paid to come play at certain programs, etc., etc. If one guy is doing it, we have a problem. If that's the culture universally, but then one or two guys are getting caught, well, then you have a different set of problems. Because the game that's established within the game is what folks are asking that the masses take into consideration as we determine who's a villain, who's a victim, etc. I'm looking at a Bill Belichick, and I'm saying, let's just say for the sake of argument that Ryan Clark is absolutely correct, and he played in the NFL, neither Skip nor I didn't, so he's the expert on this particular subject. Before I can answer this question about Bill Belichick, I'm compelled to ask Ryan Clark this question. Are the Patriots the only organization in the NFL y'all felt that way about?
Yes.
Are there not other coaches and other franchises that people think skirt the lines or really go to that third rail or really take those chances? Is this just isolated for the Patriots, or is that something that is, dare I say, relatively pervasive in the National Football League?
I can be completely honest with you. Conversations had about the Patriots and skirting rules, I've never had about any of the other 31 teams, ever.
Okay, that's fine. So with you saying that I totally get where you're coming from, and I totally respect it. My problem is, Ryan, when I talk to other NFL players, they swear that there are other people who try to do things, they're just not as good as Belichick. So what am I to say to Belichick if it's widely understood that everybody's trying to do something to gain a competitive edge? Skip, you were here when Coach Herm Edwards alluded to such things. He talked about how in the NFL, everybody's pushing the envelope. Everybody's trying to, gain their competitive edge or whatever the case may be. And who knows what they're doing. All I'm saying is, if we're sitting on the outside looking in and this is all about Belichick, that's fine. But if you've got NFL folks who are saying to us, there are many wannabe Belichicks, they're just not as good, then I can't knock Belichick but so much, because I'm like, you're just better at it than they are.
But here's my question.
And that's the game that's being played.
Okay, so if you're saying he's not as good because Belichick does it and wins Super Bowls, right? That's why you're saying
I'm saying wins. Actually, I'm saying wins games because he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 10 years until just now.
Well, I think the other part is obviously he's not as good because he's the only person continuously getting caught.
I agree with that. So,
well, how's he getting caught? He wasn't implicated in Deflategate. It was only Spygate.
Only Spygate? Like, Spygate to NFL players is not an only. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I'm just talking about in quantity. Spygate is one incident. One.
So let's go
the man has been coaching.
Time out. Stephen A., we're running out of time.
Go ahead.
I remain a Brady fan. I have never been a big Belichick fan, and I've said that to you repeatedly on this show because of what this man has said. I have covered this league since back into the 70s. I have never, ever run across an organization as roundly accused of cheating as this one has. Even back to Al Davis's days with the silver and black Renegade Raiders, they still played the game the right way. They didn't cheat during the games. They had the stick-em issues, but they never bent and broke rules like this. So do I respect his strategic brilliance, his teaching? Yes, I do. But if you're that great, why do you have to keep reaching for these things? Yeah. So in the end, this reputation is permanently tainted for a long. It's been for years. Eric Mangini worked for Bill Belichick and said, please don't tape my defensive signals the way you do everybody else. Yeah. Remember? Yeah. And Bill did it, and Eric's like, come on, Bill, you're getting, so he turned him in. And there's what about the Rams? What about the Panthers accusing him of videotaping the walkthroughs before Super Bowls? Are you kidding me?
And there's a reason why Don Shula called him Belichick. So we're going to take a little breather right now. We'll come back. More First Take after this.
First Take is presented by Chase, celebrating small business. Learn more at chase.com/smallbusinessweek. And in part by the makers of non-drowsy Claritin. Live Claritin Clear.
The discussion got so heated that NFL analyst Ryan Clark decided to stay. Continuing our discussion on the Deflategate, we were talking about Bill Belichick's legacy, and Stephen A. Smith was about to jump out of the screen because he had something to say.
I don't even remember my point, to be quite honest with you. All I'm going to tell, I'm serious. I don't remember my point. All I'm going to say to you is that in the end, what it comes down to is that Bill Belichick, Ryan Clark, you just a few days ago, I think it was yesterday, you just finished saying, according to the Wells report, you don't believe that Bill Belichick should have been suspended.
I still agree with that.
If you don't believe that he should have been suspended, why should this be attached to Bill Belichick's legacy?
We're talking about his legacy overall. I'm not saying that this tarnished his legacy any more than it was already tarnished, but it's a culture of cheating that he has festered. And I said that on the show yesterday. It's a history of cheating through the organization. I'm not I'm not saying Bill Belichick walked into the locker room and said, "Hey guys, listen, I want
No, I
these
agree with
balls."
that. I get that.
Yeah, what I'm saying
I get that.
is,
What
though,
I'm saying to
it's
you
a
is
culture,
the one
though.
point is Spygate, right? Spygate is the one issue, right?
Yes.
So all I'm saying is, based in terms of judgment, that's all we have on Bill Belichick. Is that not correct?
It is. Judgment and rules, that is, no question. But
Okay.
when I'm, go ahead, Skip.
So my conclusion here, Stephen A. Smith, is that because of the culture of cheating established and operated over years by Bill Belichick, I believe that Belichick encouraged the equipment men to make Tom Brady happy because he made it clear from the start he likes a little softer football to throw. So I believe Belichick presided over this, which is why I think they docked him a first-round draft choice, because this was another Spygate to them, to both Troy Vincent and Goodell.
I mean, how can Belichick not know? As a head coach, I assume that, you know, he knows everything that's going on. And Belichick is too particular and detail-oriented and successful to not know every single thing that's going on within his franchise.
You got it right, and they didn't.
4 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. Way to go.
That's
you
what
finally
we're talking
put them
about.
both in their place.
That's what I came here to do. Just
Took
put
2 hours, but you did it.
Oh, man.
In the end, you know, that's the thing. In the end, it's your team. You run it. And if you set a culture of cheating, if you set a culture of bending the rules, then people under you would do those things. If you set a win at all cost culture, that's what people will do.
Okay, last quick thought. On appeal, what happens for Tom Brady?
About 20 seconds.
I think at best he gets 2 games. It won't be 0.
Okay.
I agree with you on that. All right, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Ryan Clark, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm Prim Saripapat. Carrie Champion will be back in the chair. Tomorrow, Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., the one-handed catch. Remember him? He will be right here tomorrow. On the team itself, saying, quote, "It remains a fundamental principle that the club is responsible for the actions of club employees." So joining us back here at the desk is NFL analyst Ryan Clark. We talked about what is Tom Brady's pick. The other instance occurred back in 2008 in response to the Spygate. Now, in terms of the Deflategate, no wrongdoing was found on the part of Coach Bill Belichick or his coaching staff. But the NFL imposed penalties legacy now. So now the question that we ask, how do you feel about Bill Belichick's legacy?
Good question.
That is a good question.
It's the same as it's always been. Bill Belichick is a push the boundaries, push the rules, do whatever it takes to win. And I think this whole thing goes to the culture of the New England Patriots. Skip said it yesterday. We were talking about not even the equipment manager, the head equipment manager, knowing that this was.
So what is their legacy now? Yesterday, the Patriots were docked 2 draft picks, a 2016 first-round pick and a 2017 fourth-round pick. This is the second instance that the Patriots organization has been docked a first-round